So, an Entrada de Angel tutorial. Basically, I was asked quite a lot to make a tutorial about Entrada de Angel and to explain it. And since there are very little videos on YouTube explaining how to do it, I decided to do one on my own. This element takes a lot to learn and to achieve, and it's not an overnight element. So basically, for me, it took over a year to master, like from zero, which is quite fast. But keeping in mind that I've done it almost every single day or every second day, that kind of gives you a perspective of how hard you need to train to actually achieve the element so fast. So, as I said, it takes a lot. So be patient with it. Don't rush it, since you can experience some really bad injuries. And yeah, so let's get back to explaining. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is warm-up. What you need to do is warm up correctly, warm up thoroughly, so wrists, tendons, everything, basically everything. And from there, you're going to keep on with the training. The one exercise that I prefer doing myself for warm-up before my Entrada de Angel training is basically the exercise either with a rubber band or with a stick. So you take a rubber band or a stick, you adjust the width, you take it like this, and basically you go through and you do a dislocation with your shoulders, and you basically go back, and then you repeat that movement. I'm gonna show you that exercise with a stick, so hopefully you'll understand and see what's it actually about. So I found a bar, not a stick, but you can do it with a rope, a bar, or stick, rubber band, whatever you can find. So basically, the way you do this exercise is you hold a certain width that you can do. So some people can do it like this, the advanced athletes. Some people need it wide, and so on. So you take it like this, and then what you do is you go over the head like that, keeping your elbows straight. So if you do this, it doesn't count. You do this, you go over, and you go back. So basically that's the whole exercise. You repeat that a couple of times, a couple of sets, and you're ready to go. The second warm-up exercise that you need to do is warming up your wrists. So basically the one and only exercise that I can think of that is as efficient as any other is basically taking your wrist like this, crossing your fingers, and doing this. So just rotating your wrists is enough to warm them up a bit. So you do one side, then you do other, and so on. Then what I like to do, either when I'm training planche, entrada, angel, hefesto, or whatever, is stretching. So the way I stretch is pretty simple. Basically, there's 3 exercises, or 3 stretching exercises, let's call them, that are pretty much used for all the elements. So this is how they look. So basically what you do is you put your knees together, you kneel down, put your knees together, put your hands like this. So they need to be facing forward, and they need to be as wide your knees are. That is how wide the hands should be from each other. So you can put it like this, you have to do it like this. So you keep your palms on the ground, you don't raise the palms as you go forward. So you lean forward as much as you can, you hold a position, then go back. The most important thing is to keep this part on the ground. If you raise this part up, you're basically putting the wrist in a neutral position, and you're not warming it up. You're not putting any load on the wrist like this. If I raise it up, I'm putting it in a neutral position, and I'm not doing anything. The second exercise is the same one, only with your wrists upside down. So basically you do it like this, you put your whole top part of the wrist on the ground, you go forward and then back, and then forward, hold the position, and then go back. And my favorite one is putting them like this. So you put your fingers like this, you lean your hands in the front, and then go back, and this is how you stretch. Also, if you do this, so if you open your hand up and your palm isn't on the ground, as I said, you're gonna just turn it back into the neutral position, and you're not gonna warm it up as you need to. So you hold that position and then release. So then shake up your hands and you're done. So the next thing that we're gonna talk about is grip. The way to train that grip is pretty simple. Basically, you just find a lower bar and you grip the bar that way, and you raise your feet off the ground and you hold yourself just on your fingers on the feet, and overall over time and everything, you're gonna try and take your feet off the ground and develop the strength so that you can actually hold the angel hang. um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Now the way that you grip the bar is kind of different than the front lever or some other exercise basically. So as you know, the Entrada de Angel goes from the back. So if you grip in false grip from the back like this, then your bar, like in front lever as I said, it rests here on this part, but in Entrada de Angel, throughout the whole movement, it needs to hold there. And as far the bar is on the wrist, on the forearm, the bigger the chances are for you to pull the element if you don't have the strength. Some athletes, including myself, can actually do Entrada de Angel without false grip. So I'm not recommending that way, since it's really dangerous for them, and it puts a lot of pressure on the wrists. But people can do it, and that's pretty much the way that it's done. But yeah, I'm advising, even I myself do it all the time with false grip. I never do it, almost never, without false grip. So I'm advising to do it with false grip, like 99.99% of the time, since you can avoid all the injuries. And if you for some reason want to and try to do a variation without the false grip, do it. But I'm not recommending it to do that variation as often. So yeah, some people do this and their hand basically rests on their palms. What you need to do is raise your hand up like this and make the hand rely on your wrist like this. That way when you pull up, you'll pull up with basically your wrist and not your forearm and your biceps in this grip. So now I'm going to show you the correct way to execute Entrada de Angel, and basically I'm going to show you afterwards the mistakes also. Also remember to chalk up your hands before every attempt, since basically with sweaty hands you can pretty much, you aren't able to do it. Or if you at least do it without chalk, you're going to do it once or twice before the bar gets slippery. So right now I'm going to show you, as I said, the correct way. So keep looking and analyze the move as much as you can. So that was the correct form of Entrada de Angel. So you can see that it consists of three main movements. The first move is the pull-up. So you raise yourself to a certain point. Usually it has to be almost at the height of your shoulders, basically the rear deltoids, basically in that point. I'm going to include the picture in a line so that you can actually see where the bar should touch. From that point, you lean on forward and look at your shoulders in, and then you do a dip. I'm going to show you the way of how the incorrect form of Entrada de Angel is done, which people call Entrada de Angel, but it's actually Entrada de Hefesto or whatever, where basically after the invocation, they do a Hefesto. So let me show you that. So yeah, I hope you kind of understood what I tried to say, and I did as best as I could. I know my, explaining skills aren't as good. I'll try to make them better next time when I'm probably doing a tutorial about something. If you have any elements in mind that you want me to do a tutorial on, make sure to leave them in the comments, and I'll try to explain them as you can. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope I'll see you next time. Peace.